Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about Trump's latest tax proposal. No taxes for those earning less than $150,000. So there's been a lot of news going around based on what's actually happening with Trump's tax plans, between no tax on tips, the way the budget proposal was distributed, no tax on overtime, no federal income tax, and no income tax for less than $150,000. Obviously, some of those are a little contradictory. Again, this is a lot of speculation going around. But the latest thing so far was this talk about no taxes for those earning less than $150K. That would be really good for gig workers, and I want to go over a little bit of that. So with that said, we are talking about everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for all parties involved in America, including gig workers and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that this is not a political channel, nor does it have any intention of being a political channel. This is simply my perspective based on what I am reading currently. So with that said, let's get started. If you make less than $150,000 a year, President Donald Trump wants to abolish your taxes, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said in an interview with CBS on Tuesday. I know what his goal is. No tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal. That's what I'm working for, Lutnick said in an interview. Okay, based on this perspective, it sounds less like he wants to make it so you don't get taxed for less than $150,000. Almost like I don't want to say a conspiracy theorist, because that just sounds wrong. I just feel like this guy's just piecing stuff together, and in his mind, that's what it sounds like. This isn't confirmed. It doesn't seem that way anyways. Lutnick also mentioned Trump's plans to eliminate taxes on tips, overtime pay, and Social Security. Other tax proposals that Trump floated in 2024 and earlier this year, including creating a tax deduction for interest payments on car loans and easing the income tax rules that expatriate Americans must follow. God, I couldn't say that last word for the life of me, could I? But you see what I mean? Like, this is literally somebody who works relatively close to him, piecing together something and thinking, oh, that's his goal. But it sounds a little bit more like that's where it's gonna start. This doesn't quite remove the prospect of no federal income tax, period. Trump has also talked about eliminating the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, in favor of an External Revenue Service to collect money from foreign sources. And since taking office in January, he's hit some of the US's biggest trading partners with a slew of tariffs. Yeah, it does seem like overall it's less about what's happening in the country and more so what's happening outside the country that he's putting his primary focus on. He's trying to bring the economy back to earth, you know what I'm saying? But specific details for many of Trump's tax proposals are few and far between. Without knowing more about the proposed tax cut for those earning $150,000 or less, it's difficult to assess how the plan would work, says Carl Johnson, a certified public accountant in New Orleans. I'm not very hopeful about the way it's presented as a broad-based cut, he said. According to Johnson, the plan could include provisions to allow some taxpayers to qualify, but not others. That's what I was thinking about, like saying that you're gonna eliminate taxes for anybody earning less than $150,000. It sounds almost like you're trying to talk about the tax brackets, but that's not what's happening here. What you're talking about is eliminating taxes for those earning $150,000 or less. That sounds like a tax bracket. That doesn't sound like where all this money is coming from, with taxes on tips and taxes on overtime, taxes on Social Security, removing the IRS, like removing federal income tax. Those are tangible things that apply to specific niches more than a broad one label word or one label number like 150,000 or less. Also, the idea of eliminating taxes for those earning 150,000 or less may refer solely to income taxes and likely wouldn't eliminate the payroll taxes that US workers pay toward Social Security and Medicare. A majority of taxpayers earning less than 200,000 pay more in payroll taxes than income taxes, according to a report by the Tax Foundation in 2019 based on data from the US Congress Joint Committee on Taxation. You know what's funny about that? I was thinking about this too, because I was thinking about employees recently and how not a lot of people know your employer is paying payroll tax on top of paying you, as well as the employee paying taxes as well. So it's like they're taking from both sides. Not a lot of people know that. So I definitely see how payroll taxes and income taxes are two different things. And payroll is so much more than income. Meanwhile, Congress is currently debating the extension of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The sweeping legislation initially enacted in 2017 during Trump's first term brought about lower income tax rates and nearly doubling the standard deduction and a much more generous child tax credit, among other changes. All of these provisions are set to expire at the end of the year unless Congress acts. A part of me believes that's gonna happen at the very last minute, though. Like, that's not something that's gonna be announced by tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of these things, either like they'll extend it at the very last minute, or they won't extend it at all and it'll just expire. Kind of like how the government almost shuts down every other week or something. No taxes on Social Security income. During his presidential campaign, Trump proposed many initiatives to cut taxes for Americans. For example, Trump said he wants to eliminate taxes on Social Security retirement benefits for seniors. While retirees with low incomes generally don't owe taxes on their Social Security benefits, those who receive income from other sources, such as wages or rental income, may owe income tax up to 85% of their benefits. That's true. One of the things that my dad was contemplating when he was deciding on whether or not he wants to retire was if he should take a job at like Costco or something. And that would kind of just be his thing, you know? Because he's not the kind of person just staying around all day. And that's why Home Depot is usually like got kids that are having their first job, and then you have old people that are just having their last job. You know what I'm saying? According to the Tax Policy Center, a plan to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits would benefit beneficiaries earning between $63,000 and $200,000 the most. That's an interesting find. I hope that I could find that study at some point. However, tax cuts for Social Security could come at a price, according to experts. Exempting Social Security benefits from income tax would increase the budget deficit by $1.6 trillion for over 10 years and accelerate the trust fund's insolvency, according to a report by the Tax Foundation. True, but Trump has also been working on the other side of that too, to where he's also freeing up a lot of money spent as well, so that could go both ways. Ending tax on tips and overtime pay. Trump also has pledged to eliminate income taxes on tips and overtime income, but his administration hasn't yet detailed how those plans will work. However, the Tax Foundation warned that eliminating overtime taxes could distort the labor market. Since salaried positions are exempt from overtime rules, more employees would seek jobs that offer overtime pay. Okay. I feel like the Tax Foundation is also trying to lean towards one political side and only talking about that. I mean, I'm all for playing devil's advocate, but be devil's advocate for both parties, not just the one, you know? Bottom line, it's unclear precisely how Trump's plan to end taxes on income of less than $150,000 would be implemented. He has vowed to change the tax rules considerably during his second term. Johnson said he expects that with a Republican-controlled Congress, Americans should expect significant tax law changes to take place during Trump's second term in office. That's as true as it gets, though. We did have a video recently going over the budget proposal that he made and how it got approved. That video is going to be in the description. Feel free to check it out. But the point is that it seems like he's working towards it, but nothing is set in stone yet. Regardless of that, however, however, it's still vital for all parties involved to make sure that they are getting their taxes done effectively and accurately until these things are set in stone. Have your quarterly tax reviews. Make sure that you're getting your taxes done right by a qualified tax professional. And make sure you're working with a tax professional that's not going to overcharge you for having so many 1099s, as gig workers tend to have. And our partner at GigTax is here to help you accomplish that. Are you still letting taxes eat into your earnings? Whether you're a rideshare driver, food delivery, or any other form of self-employed work, stop wasting your time on taxes that slow you down. GigTax was built by somebody who gets it. Joseph Mayo is a gig worker with over 7,000 deliveries across 7 platforms, and GigTax knows exactly what you need. Starting at just $99, get your taxes done fast and right, and enjoy perks like electronic state filing, secure portal access, and year-round support from a dedicated tax pro. File your taxes within 24 hours with a money-back guarantee, no questions asked, simply because your time is money, and that's why we're here to save you on both. So you can get back to what you do best, and that is earning more. If you're a first-time client, we'll match or beat any competitor's full service price and give you the same 5-star service our regular clients swear by. Taxes done right for less. Joseph was extremely professional and knowledgeable. He took the time to understand my unique situation and give me valuable insights. Simplify and save with GigTax today at gigtaxservice.com/drivenwild and use the code WILD to get started. We are excited and looking forward to helping you secure your financial future. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.